Welcome to another edition of the Print on Demand Playbook podcast. I'm Rusty Pepper, and we're short Maddy Alcala today. She's running around the Printing United Orlando Conference Center somewhere, probably having meetings, but sitting here with Chris from Print Island. So, Chris, why don't you welcome, and let's talk about a little bit about your background, and also how did Print Island get started?
Hey, Rusty. Yeah, thanks for having me, first of all. So it's an idea, it's a concept that the print industry is on a desert island, and we're all marooned, stranded, if you like. But on that island, somewhere else will be another vertical in other areas. So let's say we've got OEM shore, we're here with the presses. And in the caves around the corner, we've got the software guys. And then up in the mountains, we've got the substrates. And the premise is, the metaphor is, we're all on this island with the same fight. We're not talking and we're not working together, right? So it was the birth child of Richard Askham, who you will know from your podcast. And unfortunately, Richard couldn't make it to Print United. But we decided to take
stuck on the island somewhere.
He literally is on the island, yeah. But the whole point is really that as an industry, we need to come together more, share more information, education, knowledge, be a bit more bolder in our points of view and our opinions. So we just decided, right, we're going to launch something called Print Island. We're going to cover everything from hardware, software, events, whatever, and we're going to open it to everybody.
I love it. So it's basically a voice, giving the voice to the industry and all the different segments of the industry. And we now have our lovely co-host, Maddy Alcala.
Hey, Maddy. How are you?
We're just talking about Print Island.
Okay.
And we scrapped what we were usually going to talk about, and we're just talking about Print Island, how the origin story behind it. And,
awesome.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me on my show. Hi,
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for having me. I am sorry I am late. I was with a customer, and it was one of those things where I'm like, I have to finish this conversation.
Wow.
Close the deal.
I think we're close. Rusty. You know what? That's what we do, baby.
That's
Make
right.
it rain.
Yeah. Close it.
Nice. Nice.
Well, so you were just talking. We were talking about the island and kind of how you're giving the voice to all the different parts of the industry, which I think is wonderful. And we're on the island now.
You are.
Thank
You're a
you
major
for
part of
bringing
the
us on
island. Yeah, you're a major part of the island. And I think it was refreshing for us to see established podcasts like yours coming on, wanting to share and get the word out. But like you and I just spoke off air beforehand, the vision is to really open it up to the whole industry, the masses, free on demand. And if we can do that, then we've got the place to come, right? Where you want to find anything out, you come to Print Island. So that's the idea here, really. We've really got to sort of lose this silo mentality. And I think it's something that, we're part of different communities like D-Scoop, and I'm part of FESPA and everything, but they come to the show and they have a look, but they don't really engage, and it's the best way of breaking that, changing the culture.
Absolutely. I think it's great. And that's something that, the industry needs, because as this thing, the ecosystem continues to grow and scale. Let's take Print on Demand, because that's obviously what we focus on when we think about it. It's actually absorbing a lot of the different, it's pulling in all these different areas of the industry that help support that part of the industry thrive. So, and I believe that the traditional offset side that has been traditionally analog is going to migrate more and more into the digital realm, where it's not going to be, it has to be digital printing.
Yeah.
How are we ingesting the actual pre-pressed artwork, and are we automating more of those processes so that it can be supported by the on-demand order flows?
Yeah. I think that's great. And I think the other thing, as well as business owners, the entrepreneurial side, you'll be a lot more informed with maybe tools and systems and workflows that you didn't think would actually help you. When people come onto Print Island and start sharing their experiences, we had a guy on the other day, and they were sharing their system that allows PSPs to use both Canva files and Adobe, and they were explaining that whether you like the Canva revolution or not, it's not slowing down or going anywhere, and actually
it's accelerating.
Right. And people are now ordering, like from your communities, people are now ordering straight from Canva through to the HP infrastructure, right? So it's only going to get bigger. So we have to find ways of adapting And there's fear in adaptation, there's fear in change, there's fear in AI, isn't there? So we've got to try and have somewhere where you can go, well, where do I go? Where do I go? Print Island.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great for operators too, because there's so many small businesses or family-owned businesses in this space, or startups on the technology side. A lot of people that have great ideas.
Yeah.
And something I know from being for our business is you get so absorbed into your day-to-day that you can forget sometimes to take a step back and be like, wait a second, someone's probably tried to solve this problem before, or they're trying to solve the same problem that I'm solving. But that's where a community makes such a big difference, because if you're hearing from these other people, then we've had this happen with our show. We talk about something, and even if we only talk about it for a minute or two, someone will say, hey, wait a second, send us a message, do you know someone about this? And if Rusty or I haven't got the experience to speak on it fluently, a lot of times we can make that connection, and it just helps the whole industry mature and improve.
Maddy, that's spot on. I think the other thing I want to say that we try and do is encourage freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And that's quite controversial, right? Because when we're all playing the corporate game, we're trying to sell, we're trying to look professional, but actually you need to be honest and authentic in a world where content is so fake now, and it's coming. We're drowning in fake content on social media all the time. So it's very important that you can jump on a podcast like you guys do with yours, talk to a guest, but it's honest, it's authentic.
Yep.
We ask it's respectful. You know, no, not too much swearing or anything personal.
You should see our outtakes.
There you have.
That's right. You're the guy that sees all of it. Rusty and I just joking around.
I love it. Don't change.
Yeah.
Don't change.
We have fun.
No.
It'll be fun.
Change.
It is fun.
Yeah.
But to that point, I think it's important that it needs to be real. I mean, we manage. My other hat, I set up a mental health and wellness scheme called Sheep for Brains.
Yeah.
And we're brutally honest. We're brutally raw and with that. And by opening yourselves up with that honesty, you become very transparent. And that's what we need to do as an industry, really.
Totally.
To evolve, we need to admit where our failings are. We need to admit where we're weak and where we're strong.
Yeah.
Because everybody has that. Everybody's got weaknesses. Everybody's got strengths.
Totally. Or frustration.
And they've had failures. I mean, if anybody ever says they don't have failures, they're liars.
Yeah.
I'd love
That's
to
how
meet
you
that
get better.
person. Yeah.
You get better. That's
I
how you
fail
learn.
all the time.
Fall on your face.
All the time. Yeah.
Falling over is okay, as long as you get up.
Well, and also too, if you have the community, I've met people at this show that are, I consider friends, right?
Okay.
They're colleagues and they're professional partners, but I consider them friends. And you know, Rusty and I have talked about this. You know, our business on the Guten side went through a crazy period over the past year, and some of that was awesome and exciting, especially the recent partnership we've announced with Taylor. But some of it was really tough. And you know, when you're in that world, you need to have people to call.
Yeah.
And you know, being able to be open about what's not going well. And some of that you don't always want to put on a podcast that has thousands of listeners, but again, it helps build that community. And I completely agree, Chris. I think that authenticity is huge. And I know I think about this, and Rusty thinks about this. We talk about our companies sometimes on the show. I'll talk about a Guten experience, or you'll bring up Taylor, because that's just what we know, and that's authentic to our experience. But it's not, like, we're not reading from a script that's been given to us. It's like, I'm going to show up as Maddy, you're going to show up as Rusty. We try to have our guests show up the same way. And when we tell people before episodes, it's just like, come as yourself, right? Obviously bring your company into it, bring your professional experience. That's what you know, that's what you live.
Yeah.
But this is not like a rehearsed corporate dialogue.
No.
This is conversations between business people in the industry, talking about what we think. We're going to give opinions. Sometimes they're going to be right, sometimes they're going to be wrong. Sometimes we're going to cite our sources, sometimes we're not, but that's okay, because the goal is to have the conversation and have a real conversation. And then people will disagree with us or like it or not like it, but that's okay, because that's life. Because you're not always going to agree with everything.
Don't you think the corporate brands that are buying into that mindset are the ones that are thriving?
Oh, absolutely. The ones that sit there and say, we're going to be exactly who we are.
Yeah.
And we're not going to try to cow down to what the lowest common denominator expects us to be, so that they can just hold us and like vote us down, or whatever they what do they call it?
Bring them down.
No, it's cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
Cancel
Oh,
culture
goodness.
is the
Cancel
worst.
culture. Yeah.
But also, I think you retain staff better. You attract talent. You'll keep talent if you buy into that mindset of being a bit more authentic. The other thing I'd just like to add on Print Island is it's really opened our eyes to what a global industry this is,
Big time.
but also very small. So, you know, you could be doing something in Australia, and then here we are here in America, and then I see you all over the world, you know, and it's like, it's small, but it's huge, if that makes sense. It's a real paradox. But with that comes a lot of cultural differences and communication. So it's understanding how to take a certain version of English, should we say American, compared to British English?
Absolutely.
Scandinavians compared to American. I don't know. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
No, because everything, but there's similarities across each of those.
There is.
And the clients need that.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to say, if I print it, if I place the order through our order mesh platform, now, I can say that, yes.
It's yours.
It hits, it can be routed to our LA facility, our Waco facility, our East Coast facility in Australia,
Yes.
UK, all at the same frickin' time, printed, produced, filled, shipped to the customer within like 1 to 2 days. Boom.
Yeah.
Never before in the history of this industry could you do that.
And I think culturally, if the brand's got it right, which you guys obviously have, all those teams in those locations are all on the same script, right? So it works. They're all flying the same flag, and it's just harmonious.
Yeah.
Yes.
It takes a long time to get like that, but
Well, and that starts with a relationship, right? That's a huge technical and operational lift to achieve that, and I don't want to miss that because there's differences in the metric versus imperial system.
Yep.
There's differences in image handling. Everyone has different technologies.
Currency,
right? There's so much tactical operational work
Yep.
that has to get done to achieve that consistent global supply chain, and we're not there yet, right? But that starts with conversations between operators. And that's where, to go back to what we were talking about with community and events like this, Printing United, you start with that relationship because there's so many people in this space who want to solve common problems. And you build that human connection. And then you have a relationship that you can call because we're all going to have to do difficult things and do a lot of work to achieve that for the brand. But if you have the foundation of the human side and then you build the business and the work on top of it, we've seen that be so much more effective than like in just how you work. Because if I'm going to call you up and say, all right, I've got an awesome opportunity, it's a great customer, but we've got to do things differently to support them. What we see is people are way more inclined to be like, you know what, yep, let's do it. If you've broken bread, you've had a drink, you've met at a show, right? Because then you're collaborating. It's not like I'm giving you work and then I'll call you in 6 months and we have to talk about an invoice.
Yeah.
Nothing
We're actually
beats
building
face-to-face.
this together, right?
Nothing.
Yeah. Nothing.
Breaking
beats
bread together is the best.
Exactly.
yeah, but it's all about you're aware of those challenges. So you were listing them out. The metric system, for example. Surely it's about getting the right people, your guy, your girl, in that location that you can pick the phone up to, and they know the local currency, they know the local jib, and they get it done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I think people who like this industry, I'm going to brag a little bit about print and print technology and POD. Yeah. I think people who like this world are two things for the most part: problem solvers, and then there's like a creativity and a passion associated with that, because that's just part of what the industry is.
Yeah.
So it's connecting those people who want to solve problems and who bring creative and passionate approaches to do it, and that's when the magic happens.
Do you not think there's a third though, like the technical side? Because you've got POD for me has the creativity and the technical side, and the two like merge. It's harmonious, like cloud. It's lovely. It's like we've got all the tech geeks doing their thing, and then we've got the creative side, drawing the orders in, drawing the selling the product, and then the problem solving. Yep. For me, I see three things.
I'm glad you said that. I'm the tech gal, so I was supposed to say the tech part, but
I'm going to give you a metaphor.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go. Brain is your demand. That's where all the decisions happen. That's where creativity happens.
Yeah.
That's where all the orders, all that stuff generates. Your heart is the technology layer, because just like your heart pumps blood through your body and keeps you alive, technology does the exact same thing. Keeps all the data, order, product, pricing, routing, tracking, all that, making it all go back and forth. And the third's going to be your muscles, which is fulfillment, because that's where action happens and things get physical.
Now that.
So you can't have POD without all three of those. But the most important layer of all that is the technology, because just like your heart, you can live without your brain. You're just brain dead.
Yeah.
You can live without your muscles. You're just atrophied and weak. Without your heart, you're dead. You don't live. And technology is the most important layer when it comes to POD. That's my opinion. That's the way I look at it.
I love that.
With those three.
I was going to actually, on that subject, I was chatting to John Bailey recently about this. Like, obviously,
he's a great tech mind.
He's great, yeah. He's brilliant he covers all of those areas of the body very well, to use your metaphor. But he said to me, sometimes I feel like a manufacturer rather than a printer. And I thought, oh, that's a really interesting statement to make. And I probed on that point more, and he was like, well, we're making bottles, we're making magnets, we're not just printing business cards anymore. Our role in POD has evolved to making things, items. What's your thoughts on that, both of you, in terms of being a manufacturer versus a printer?
I have sat through hours of meetings and debate on that topic of what do we call ourselves, how do we talk about this market, because even if you just take a difference between print on demand and make on demand, I know there's people in this room that would say it's make on demand, and then there's others that would say it's print on demand. Reality is it's both, right? And print on demand has evolved into maybe a much more all-encompassing topic, but when I talk about our partners, I'll use terms like supply partner, vendor, manufacturing partner. Like, I flip between it because they are so many different things to us. It's a supply chain, it's a manufacturing network, it's a print network, it's a service provider. Like, you just look at all this different language. So I think John's right, though.
Yeah, I
most of the people that we work with, they're manufacturers and printers. They're both.
Excellent.
And I hate to cut this conversation short.
I was late.
We're back to back on these things. We got people staring at us waiting to come back in this booth for our next interview. But hey, let's make sure we get this scheduled for another episode. I'd like to continue this conversation because I don't think it's fair to be cutting it off. But I do think it's great. So thank you for having us, bringing us on the island, and this great conversation.
Please keep coming.
We bring the party to the island.
Exactly.
I love the island metaphor, too.
Okay. Get you a hat or something. Or,
I love it.
Yeah, cocktail. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.